Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sotek is Late talking about news, as always. Hope you're all doing well and excited as the holiday season rapidly approaches. Whatever it is you may be up to or celebrating or doing, I hope you're staying safe and having a wonderful time out there and enjoying the season. But we have the end of year message out from Creative Assembly because they are officially on vacation. They're out of the office by now. So they did put out a message, and there's actually quite a bit of stuff in it that I wanted to go over. I have been ridiculously busy with some other things the last few days, so I wasn't able to get around to it till now. But let's go and hop into the thank you for 2025 message, which has been a bit of a tumultuous year. We do seem to be ending on a pretty high note, which is great. Tides of Torment seems to have gone over pretty well. From what I've seen, and a lot of people seem really excited for Total War Warhammer 40,000, as well as the end times and a bunch of other stuff. So let's get into it. Hello, friends. Here we are again, the end of another year and a moment to reflect. Several letters ago, I committed myself and the franchise to being more open and transparent. Mixed success based on some feedback I see. And this is a chance for me to talk about both our successes and failures. Thank you so much for your support over the years, be it through praise or criticism. We do read the feedback, take it to heart, sometimes beat ourselves up about how dumb we did a thing, and then plan on how to make things better. 2025 has been a landmark year for the Total War franchise. We celebrated 25 incredible years of the franchise and marked the occasion by announcing 3 new projects I've been excited about since I came to CA. We also shared a first look at Warcore, the brand new Total War game engine. To be fair, it's built on top of the last one, so a little ship of Theseus here, and spoke about bringing our new games to console, which we'll talk about more later. We revealed the world's worst kept secret, ranking a game in one of the favorite universes, Warhammer 40,000. At the same time, we look to our past, both Total War and Humanities, to set our sights in the Middle Ages with Medieval 3. Now, soon, I'll write more on why we made the call to announce it. And finally, we're not finished with Total War Warhammer 3 as we revealed the Lords of the End Times. It's my hope that we talked at least about one setting that you're excited for. Our anniversary showcase was the first event like this we've ever done, and a long-standing ambition for us. We know we didn't get everything perfect in this plan, but aligning 3 projects at very different stages in their development cycle is challenging. There's plenty of feedback we'll take on board for next time, and that's exactly how it should be. In retrospect, I wish we'd also spend time celebrating our players and the mods across all our games, but that's something we'll explore in the future. For our first attempt, I couldn't be happy for the teams who pulled this off. I gave you a genuine glimpse to the project we've been building. I'm proud of what we did and happy with what we learned. Those in front of the camera are lifelong Total War fans, and while exciting, it's also incredibly nerve-wracking to talk publicly about things you're working on. I'm hugely proud of them all, and it was an enormously complex orchestration presenting the showcase internationally, including launching a DLC and releasing Mortal Empires to all Warhammer 1 and 2 players. Over 500,000 people tuned in, and seeing a mix of familiar faces, players coming back 3 years away, and people discovering Total War for the first time was awesome. It meant a lot to the team, and moments like that remind us why we choose to do this for a living. In the future, we want to deliver more of these moments. Could Total War Con work? Would you come? Man, I could not imagine a video game con, or like a fan con, where I would be more... I cannot think of one that I would be more expecting there to be a fight on the premises as a Total War. Like, there would have to be a fight if there was a Total War con. There is going to be violence. Future events might not all look the same, but we'll each show what Total War is up to across many projects and where it's going. Yeah, I mean, overall, I thought the showcase was pretty decent. I definitely feel like there were some aspects of it that could have used some strengthening for sure. You know, I don't think it's a secret to anybody that it really feels like the showcase originally was supposed to end with the Warhammer 40,000 trailer, and that clearly got cut and then put into the Game Awards for some reason, which, I mean, I guess technically it got it in front of a larger audience. So, like, I understand the idea behind that. But doing the showcase like a week before, I don't know, it was weird. It was weird. It felt like those were supposed to go together. But I mean, obviously, I had a good time being at the showcase, though we filmed that quite a while ago. But anyway, let's keep moving here. Total War Warhammer 40,000. Total War is venturing to the far future. I'm a massive fan of the books, painting the minis. I'm working on Flesh Terror Army, which is pain because it's tricky to find the decals. I have paint, spine, and shoulder chapter batch badly by hand. Word don't do justice to how good it personally feels to lift the lid in our next game. It's been a privilege of a lifetime. We got the chance to reveal the trailer at the Game Awards with help from our friend and fellow Warhammer 40,000 enthusiast, David Harbour. It should come as no surprise that the shape of the showcase was different before we got that opportunity. Oh, okay, so they're literally just, okay, well, that's cool, they're admitting it. It should come as no surprise that the shape of the showcase was different before we got that opportunity, and frankly, the chance to show the hard work of the team on one of the largest game's largest stages is something I felt obligated to do. I was there, I watched it live, and I texted the team back home in the UK and Sophia with so many pictures, while many chose to watch along at 3 a.m. BST. What an incredible moment for the team. I watched someone just sat 2 rows ahead of me throw his arms up when the logo appeared on stage, and his cheer will live in my memory forever. This game is being developed by hardcore fans of the setting. It's personal for us. If you were to walk into our studio, the first thing you see is a cabinet upon cabinet of miniatures the teams have built and painted throughout this project. Making a video game based in the grim dark future isn't just about transposing ideas. It's about truly immersing ourselves in the setting, painting miniatures, rolling 300,000 six-sided dice that always makes the box, and reading the infinite library of novels, codices, and more. Of course, none of this would have been possible without the constant support of Games Workshop. It's been over 10 years since we first teamed up to develop the Warhammer series, and we're grateful for the trust they've placed in us to bring another of their IPs to life. Our goal is clear. Can we create the ultimate game set in the Warhammer 40,000 universe? A game where all your favorites from the setting eventually coexist within a vast galactic sandbox. Some of you have already pointed out that this is what the next 10 years looks like for CA. It's going to take quite a bit of time to get everything in massive 40k catalog that deserves a place in the galaxy. I would say that the 40k franchise will be at least as long as the Warhammer one, unless the game just bombs at launch, which I feel like is impossible, to be honest. Granted, the 40k game market is looking borderline oversaturated for 2026 and 2027. Between like Mechanicus 2, Dawn of War 4, Total War Warhammer 40,000, more Space Marine 2 stuff, and also I think they've already technically started development on Space Marine 3. 40k fans are being gluttonous in the extreme these days. The lucky bastards wouldn't know what that's like. Total War Medieval 3. After many long years, Warhammer Medieval 3 is finally in development. This is our magnum opus for historical Total War. No setting in our catalog has been more requested than this. We know we need to get it right, something that's deeply special to us as many of you. Expectations are high. I was recently quoted as making the comparison to this being our Half-Life 3. Well, don't do that, because otherwise that'll mean it's never going to come out. First, Valve, please. Secondly, what I mean is Half-Life 3 has unattainable expectations for me as a fan. The longer the wait, the more those expectations grow and morph over time. I always remembered Elder Scrolls Oblivion had Sprint. Apparently, I was wrong. And that's why we've invited you to join us on the development journey. Share your feedback, shape the experience, and help us craft a game that reflects your vision alongside our own. We want to get it right, so why should we work on this game in silence? I will say, I think for Medieval 3 in particular, it would be very wise of Creative Assembly, I think, to take more of like a Larian Studios approach as far as allowing the game to be developed very publicly, and maybe even hosting like some, not an early access, but maybe like public betas or public alphas that if people like, pre-order the game, they're able to get into or whatever. That would allow people to actually try the game and be able to enjoy. I think that's something that would go well, because I feel like the historical community is going to have obscenely high expectations. Not in the sense that I think they're expecting too much, but and they've been waiting so long for kind of like a mainline series game that the potential for what the game could be is going to be titanic, and in many ways probably unachievable, because so many people are going to want so many different things. So I really think that the more public they are with it, and the more they allow people to sort of come along for the ride so that their expectations can kind of be managed, the better. I do think that Creative Assembly sometimes overvalues secrecy when it comes to the actual gameplay, because there are so many times, I mean, just thinking with the Warhammer trilogy, there are so many times I have watched creative assembly blunder into making like just a stupid fucking decision. Just stupid. Like if they had any good community feedback at all, the easiest one for me is like Bellicor not being playable for Warhammer 3, which was the initial plan. Like that was a stupid decision. There's no explaining it. Like I understand why the decision got made, but it was a terrible decision. And the logic going into it was also terrible. And if they had allowed that to be more of like a public dev blog scenario where they like talk about characters and they had been a little less obsessed with the idea of secret reveals and surprises, they could have dodged that bullet and we could have gotten an actual Demons faction. Whereas in single player, that's not a thing. Like there is no actual Demons of Chaos faction. There's the Demon Prince, but that's God, I hate that. Anyway, carry on. We know some of you were concerned when you heard the words pre-production. We weren't clear enough on this, and it can sound like the game is nothing more than ideas on paper, but that's not the case. The game is already taking shape in playable builds, thanks to War Core. It's playable earlier than any other game in our developmental history, with core features like sieges, formations, and population systems being tested as I write this. Pre-production for us means refining the vision, locking down our list of core mechanics, and ensuring every piece fits together before full-scale production ramps up. Okay. We want to lift more of the veil on Medieval 3, which is why this week you'll have seen a live stream featuring our game director and creative director showcasing Spain on the campaign map, or Iberia, as many of you rightly pointed out. These live streams alongside blogs will form the cornerstone of how we're going to share progress with you, giving real insight into what the team are working on and keeping you connected on the developmental journey. Our goal is fluid and frequent communication with you all. I wish they wouldn't promise that, because I feel like they're not gonna be able to pull it off, because that's just not how they work. But, you know, maybe they'll surprise me. A question many of you have asked is, why didn't you make this game sooner? It wasn't for a lack of trying. We've tried to do it many times, but we felt we couldn't do it justice until now. Bringing a game to life requires all the right things to fall perfectly in place, the right team, the right technology, the right vision, to push the boundaries of our historical experience and deliver something that resonates with players worldwide. Leaf's vision is damn compelling if you ask me. We know it's going to be a few years. I'm pretty sure we'll still beat Elder Scrolls 6 to market. Please, Bethesda, accept the challenge for all our sake. I need it. There's no amount of sugarcoating to escape that fact, but we really want to make it something worth waiting for, and with your support, it will be. Join the discussion as Paul Waj, our I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly. Our game director with the amazing hair says, help us foster the rebirth of historical Total War by joining us here on the Medieval 3 forums. The forums. I hope the Medieval game is great. I can't see myself playing it unless, like, I'll try it for sure. I'll definitely try it. I can't imagine myself like being a hardcore dedicate to it, just because I've just never cared very much for historical games. But I certainly will give it a try. Yeah. All right. Next up, Total War Warhammer. It hasn't been the easiest year to be a Warhammer 3 player. Oh boy, has it not. And I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Despite the setbacks and challenges, I'm incredibly proud of the development team for staying focused and delivering a Tides of Torment experience that we can stand behind. This has been our smoothest launch in recent memory. It has been a very good launch. I will say, like, as far as like bugs go or breaking other random parts of the game, Tides of Torment seems to have kind of, like, as far as landings for DLCs have gone and patches, Tides of Torment has been pleasantly smooth. Like, I haven't heard about anything breaking. I haven't experienced anything breaking. Everything seems pretty chill. So that's great. That's awesome. We love that. We love that around here. This has been our smoothest launch in recent memory and has seen the highest daily active users since Immortal Empire's first launch. Damn, that is awesome news. That is I didn't know that. That's excellent news. Congrats. Absolutely huge congrats. I know not every part of the package is everyone's cup of tea, which is why we started splitting the DLC so you all have the choice. Choice for our players is really important to me. Team put their heart and soul into this one. We delayed because we weren't good enough and the additional time got us to a good place. That said, we'll continue to update and bug fix as we have been doing since our Shadow of Change debacle. We were finally able to give Norska a long-awaited update, added the last remaining roster pieces for the High Elves, and brought Slaanesh up to a higher standard. However, I want to acknowledge that there are two main areas where we failed to meet expectations and are committed to improving: reliable content delivery and maintaining game health. Our new engine is designed to help us solve this challenge with future games like Total War Warhammer 40,000, but we're in a painted corner with Warhammer 3. Updating Warhammer 3 is hard, delicate work. You would think that almost 10 years into developing content for the series, things would become easier, but not with this version of the engine. Adding more content and features is a combinatorial testing problem. This engine struggles under the weight of the sheer scale of Immortal Empires. That's not an excuse, that's just a fact. We'll continue to raise our internal bar for delivery, but like all things in life, there are no guarantees. We're going to ship something good late over bad on time every time. To try and remedy this for Warhammer, we've made two big changes. First, we've grown the team and brought back some veteran hands to provide support for Lords of the End Times. Second, we're improving how we build, validate, and deliver content. It's not a silver bullet, but it will hopefully pave the future for future content being delivered on a more reliable cadence. Yeah, I'll have some comments at the end here. When it comes to game health, the bottom line is simple. The content you've paid for shouldn't break. We were too slow on reacting to the campaign AI bug, and while we planned to patch it, we should have spoken to you faster and fixed it at lightning speed. Since this, we're identifying AI bugs as serious as crashes. That means we treat them as the highest priority, take immediate action to resolve and communicate. We won't always get this right, but this provides us with a more robust approach to reacting. Some of you might have seen how quickly we fixed an AI issue right after the launch. He means of Tides of Torment, because there was a patch like 2 days, or a hotfix like 2 days afterwards, or something like that. We'll strive to be that fast, and when we can't, because of the complexity of an issue, we'll keep you regularly informed. This change is a franchise-wise mandate for all our future games. That's good. That's flat out very, very good. In the meantime, we're keeping our eyes firmly focused on Tides of Torment and the wider game experience. We're listening, and please let us know if you experience major issues. Looking forward, we have some development changes to make you aware of. The first, that Neferata, Nagash's Mortarch of Blood, will become our free legendary lord, coming alongside patch 8.0, aka the End Times update. We had originally planned for her to be the first character in our new smaller content packs, which we're naming character packs, but after some lengthy consideration, it just makes sense that she and the Vampire Counts update arrives instead alongside the Great Necromancer. That does make sense. So one thing I can share, a little bit of like kind of background stuff, is that the original version of the showcase that we did for Total War Warhammer 3, so like the end time stuff and all that jazz, there was a segment that got cut where we just talked about Neferata. And it was mostly about how Neferata was going to be like the first small character pack, and she was going to come with a Vampire Counts update. Like that was basically what we discussed. But they cut that part because of this decision. And because of the next thing that I'm going to read, I do think that it's the right call, because I think with Nagash coming to the game as Nagash is kind of acting as like the big undead update, where we know he's bringing a ton of new units to the Tomb Kings. He's also going to be bringing a ton of new units to the Vampire Counts. I don't know if he's going to bring anything new to the Vampire Coast specifically. I hope he does, but I'm not sure on that. But like he's coming with a massive amount of just undead goodness. So instead of separating Neferata from that, I think it does make a lot more sense to include her in it, because otherwise I feel like we were going to be in this weird situation where I don't know exactly how the Dread Abyssals are going to work, which are kind of I'll make a separate video about this, where I just talked about this, so y'all don't have to listen to me reading everything else off. So you know what, I'll just save that for that video. The next couple days I'm going to be talking, I'm going to be doing some dedicated videos. So who's going to take our place for our first character pack? We're always keen to explore more of the unknown, the Warhammer world that was. We're venturing back to Grand Cathay with a thematic twist and a fearsome DLC that will come roaring in to claw back that space left by Neferata, plus an assortment of lore-inspired content. What's also different about this pack is that it's smaller than our normal single pack. We're trying to get more content out that doesn't necessarily have a place to build a giant faction around. The pricing for the pack will match the value of the content in it. While this is an experiment for us, we do think the value of the content is there, so there's reason for us to do it. However, expect it to be less than our normal pack price of $9. You'll hear more from the team about this new pack in early 2026. Yeah, so this is the mini Lord pack is going to come out before the end times. So we're getting at least 2 DLC next year with a small pack, and then that fucking monster, which is going to be the Lord of the End Times, which is bigger than any DLC we've ever seen. Like Lord of the End Times is so big. It's so big. But once again, I'll make a separate video where I'm going to talk about the Cathay stuff. I think I know who it is based on the little hints they give, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Side quest. Every year we like to set ourselves a few side quests, small but meaningful goals that we hope add value to you or correct some missteps. Last year we made 4 pledges that we committed to delivering going forward. Blood packs would change. As you'll have seen from the Total War Warhammer 40,000 Medieval 3 announcements, we believe that blood is essential to forge an authentic strategy experience that truly immerses you in these worlds. Blood packs are no longer a separate thing. That's great. That's awesome. That's a win for everyone. I'm very happy CA is doing this. The blood packs were always ridiculous. The only thing that was ever good about them is that they usually came with like a little free LC thing, so we got like a bonus character or bonus unit. That was the only redeeming thing about them, but I don't think they should have existed in the first place, so I'm glad they're gone. Total War Launcher would be removed. The launcher is no more! Now you can just jump straight into the game of your choice. Yep, that's cool, great. Factions will no longer be a pre-order bonus. They're gone. Yep. So Total War Warhammer 40,000 will be the first major release they've had, the first major game they've had that will not have any pre-order race or faction. I'm pretty sure that pre-order bonuses from now on are just going to be things like discounts, or they might be like a little thing on, you might get like a little thing on your Steam page, or like, you know, a cute little art asset that's like outside the game. But that's good. I think in the modern world of gaming, people hate the idea of content that you get like for free or are incentivized to get through pre-ordering. The only reason, I mean, if you want to get super technical, it's generally seen as not ideal to pre-order games. I mean, I pre-order games that I love because I like, if I know I'm going to like a game, because I'm easy to please, to put it very bluntly, and I trust the developer, then I'll pre-order because that is just it's just money I'm going to spend. But I think offering a discount is the best pre-order bonus. Like allowing people who are willing to take a chance on the game because they haven't gotten to play it yet, there's no reviews yet, allowing those people to purchase the game cheaper to reward them for their, you know, faith in the game, I think is a much more consumer friendly approach than like offering them content. So that's good. Shadows of Change would offer individual purchase options alongside race updates. Yep, they did do that, and that was they did good. That was good. I think Shadow of Change is actually like now. I think Shadows of Change is actually an excellent purchase. Particularly for Grand Cathay and Kislev. Like awesome. The Changeling is fun. Like he's a gimmick as opposed to like a balanced campaign, and I think his AI is also not particularly great. I would love for him to actually have the chance to be he should be an annoying threat. But I also feel like the Changeling AI, I would love for it to maybe have like a randomized start location to make it more threatening, but that's a discussion for another day. Historical restoration. Looking forward, our side quest for 2026 is the beginning of a more ambitious one. Our new titles are very much the focus of our attention, but where we can, we'd like to go back to some of our legacy titles and give them some much needed quality of life updates. These will vary in size and scope depending on the titles. Some might focus on bug fixing to make the player experience smoother, while others might see more robust improvements to features like game mechanics. There's a lot of dust to brush off for some of these games. In some cases, the source code is lost completely. Back in 2004, as a much younger and less forward-thinking studio, having code on a single developer's machine must have seemed like a fine idea. However, resourcing these will be a bit of a challenge given how full our hands are across the projects you would both know and don't know about, so please be patient. Ultimately, myself and the team want to ensure our games, whether they're old or new, function as intended with modern hardware. I'll be happy if we can get some of our older games in 2026. In industry jargon, this is a stretch goal. Contact me. final side quest is here, which I may end up regretting, but I'm all for a challenge. I'll give you an email where you can reach out directly with feedback. Holy sweet Jesus, this is a terrible idea. And my very meaning all the respect in the world, I think this is a terrible decision. But good on you, Roger. Good on you. I think that's a horrible decision, but I wish you all the best. I can't promise I'll respond to most of the bucket loads of mail I'm sure I can get. I can promise I'll read them. I mean, that's the coolest email address I've ever had. Random thought, maybe I could answer some of the things that stream a few times a year. What do you think? Look forward to hearing from you. We genuinely believe the future we have in front of us is the strongest we've ever had. Between Total War, Warhammer 40,000, Medieval 3, Warhammer 3, and everything else we're planning for our future, we're so excited with what we can achieve. There's a lot of work ahead. We're under no illusions about that, but we're looking forward to sharing more with you all on 3 of these projects and throughout 2026. These aren't just names on a roadmap. They're the next big steps of Total War. We can't wait for you all to see alongside the ride. Until then, happy holidays. Regarding consoles, Total War has been a PC game for 25 years. PC UIs and PC controls are in our bones. We are not going to compromise the PC experience for console. Evolving Total War, innovating, and keeping it fresh and interesting for you all as well as for us. It's always been part of the plan, irrespective of what platforms we develop or what new platforms are part of the roadmap. For example, we've seen how promising the Steam Deck could be if we could maybe find a way to get Total War running in a form that you could take on the go. The Steam Deck and the upcoming Steam Machine, therefore Valve, are the biggest players in the PC space, providing interesting input method choices to PC gamers. If there's a way to give players more choice, I'm for it. So when we say console, what we're really saying is choice. Play on the PC with mouse and keyboard. Play on PC with a controller. Play on console. I know some of you will ask about the mouse and keyboard support on console. I will look into it. Before we sign off, here's a bunch of just funny who are the most played campaigns, and which I'm not gonna worry about. So I will say overall, I think this is all really good news. Roger Collum, who's the vice president now, I actually met him a while ago. Not like earlier this year. I'll put it that way. Very nice guy. A lot of energy. I think he's relatively new to the position. Like, he hasn't been the VP for super long. But man's got some energy. I really like this letter. This feels much more human, I'll admit, than a lot of the previous communications have been. This actually feels like it was written by someone that actually plays and enjoys video games. So I will say that I'm looking forward to 2026. I hope it's better than 2025. 2026 was not a horrible year for Total War, but it wasn't a great year for Total War. So I really hope 2026 will be better. I'm really, really, really hopeful for Lords of the End Times to be incredible. I think it has a lot of potential, but it's hard to say for sure. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I don't need to wax any more lyrical. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, I intend on releasing a video where I'm going to be talking about Grand Cathay and what I think is going to be in the Mini Lord pack. I'll give you a hint. It is a particularly fiery lizard individual. But we'll do that, and then I'm going to do another video where I'm going to talk about Neferata and all of the other jazz. So thank you all for watching. I hope you're having a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you may be in the world, and I will see you next time.